Hello, everyone. Welcome to Space Symposium 2021. So we're going to go ahead and get started since it's 10:30.
All right, so we're going to be your MCs and hosting today. So my name is Emily Rassel. I'm the former SEDS at U-M internal vice president for this last year. I graduated from the University of Michigan with a degree in aerospace engineering, and I'm currently working on my space engineering master's degree.
I'm Schnee. I've been serving as president over the past year for SEDS at UM. I also just graduated with a computer science bachelor's degree in engineering.
So these photos are from our time in SEDS at UM, so we just wanted to talk about them. So the top left one is from when we went to Arizona for Space Vision Conference in 2019. The one in the top right was when the NASA administrator, Jim Bridenstine, visited the university and got to tour one of our lab spaces. And everybody from Space Orgs were invited to run out onto the big house field during halftime. So it was really miserable, but also a lot of fun. And then the bottom photo is us touring the Mission Control Center at NASA Johnson Space Center, where through a technical project, we were invited to go do testing and to present to NASA. So why are we here today for the Space Symposium? So the purpose is to showcase the work that's being done in areas related to space engineering. Or space exploration. This is both by University of Michigan students in organizations, research labs, professors, but also by company representatives, and just to provide a space for everybody to talk about their shared passion of space and then what we can do as individuals to contribute to that.
So as you might have seen on our starting slide, our theme for this symposium is discovering our place in space. So we wanted to talk a little bit about that before we jumped right in. So as most of us here know, space is a multidisciplinary endeavor. We need people from all different backgrounds doing all different kinds of work in order to achieve our dreams of being able to explore space. So we wanted to talk about some major milestones throughout the years and how these different roles have played their part. So the first one we want to talk about is Apollo 11, when we sent people to the surface of the moon, and hopefully we'll be going back again soon. And for this, we needed scientists, we needed engineers, we needed mathematicians, making sure our numbers were right. And we also needed broadcasters, and we needed people who were out there saying like this was going to happen, keeping the American people and the taxpayers from seeing like that this was going on and that this is going to be a big deal and is going to be the start of a new age. Then we had some big dreamers say, well, what if we aren't alone in space? And their idea was to send a record and hope that some extraterrestrial life came across the Voyager probes and was able to somehow listen to the sounds of Earth. So this was a very big deal in the 70s. And hopefully somebody someday is able to listen to these.
Another big milestone was developing the International Space Station, or the ISS. This was a huge multi-year, multinational project to invest in having people long-term in low Earth orbit. So we have so many people that collaborated for this project. We have ISS commander and other astronauts live streaming different experiments to share and inspire young people all over the world with what like life is like when you're living in microgravity. We have doctors who studied how the human body responds to this environment to keep people safe. And then we also have lawmakers and policymakers, people that are working to have all of these different companies or countries come together to create the International Space Station. We also wanted to highlight the Perseverance rover that landed on Mars this year. This is a big dream that we've had for a long time, and the whole goal is to study more of Mars with the intention of bringing people there in the future. We sent the first helicopter who made its flight this year, and it's just a big deal, and a lot of people came together for this. And we also wanted to highlight some of the things that people don't actually think about, which is art. So we have people that think about what spacecraft in the future might look like to create concept art. We have educators that are thinking about really interesting experiments that are kind of wacky that would inspire students to pursue space. Visionaries that think, what does Mars sound like? Or what would spacecraft in like 30 years be like with the entertainment industry? We highlighted The Mandalorian. But all of these people are also very impactful for space exploration as a whole. So we just wanted to highlight our theme, and we hope we got you thinking a little bit about what your place in space is and like what your contributions can personally be.
So next we'll talk about the event schedule. As you might have noticed, we've split our symposium this year into 2 days. So our first day will be highlighting our student organizations at U of M, and then our second day we'll be talking with research labs and professors from the university. Throughout both days, we'll be having our special industry speakers talking, so keep an eye out for those. They're just sort of mixed in there. But yeah, we hope that you join us for both days, but obviously if there's certain talks you'd like to see in person, be able to ask your questions, feel free to tune in for just those two. All right, so next we're going to talk a little bit about SEDS at UM, which is hosting this conference this year. SEDS stands for the Students for the Exploration and Development of Space, and we actually fit into a larger international organization. SEDS USA is our branch of it, and then under that, SEDS at UM falls along with 80 plus other chapters from across the US. At SEDS at UM, we like to divide our work into 4 main categories listed there, and then under our technical projects, we have many of those that we'll be talking about too.
So SEDS at UM, what is our mission statement? So primarily, we want to empower people to make an impact in space exploration. So this includes our own members, students at the university, and also the greater scientific community. In addition, we want to provide opportunities to develop technical, professional, and leadership skills within our members during their time at Michigan. So more specifically, what do we do? Well, first, we innovate. We have a lot of technical projects that we're working on at any given moment, which we'll talk a little bit about later. But we want these projects to be new and exciting for our members, but also do help the scientific community develop new technology that we haven't seen before. We also like to empower our members to be more confident in their abilities and to share that with everybody else. So we send our members to conferences and we give them opportunities to present their research to industry professionals. We also want to inspire the next generation of space explorers through hands-on outreach events with young students around the world or around the country. And then we also want to engage our members with each other to create lasting relationships that we can take into our professional or personal lives in the future. So going into some of the technical projects that we have 3 main multi-year programs that are under us. So first is the BLUE program, which stands for Biannual Lunches for Undergraduate Education. We also have CLAWS, which is the Collaborative Lab for Advancing Work in Space. We have BLISS, which is the Bioastronautics and Life Support Systems. So all 3 of these teams are actually presenting today, so you'll hear more about what they do. In addition, we have some smaller internal projects that we have going on to give young students in our organization hands-on experience, whether they're new to the university or just haven't had hands-on experience in the past. We wanted to give them opportunity to do a design, build, test project. So sorry, you're good. So we have the Michigan Mars Experience, which is a 3D printed rover. And this one is based off of open source models, such as the JPL rover, which you can see at the top. And so it's like pretty easy to get started, and we can use it for outreach events and different research, different research applications. We also have a few drone projects that are going on. Both this and the rover have been impacted by COVID, but we're hoping to get our students back in the lab working in person soon. We have the Apollo lander drone, which will be used for outreach events. We have a 3D printed model of the Apollo lander on top, and it's kind of cool to see it like land and recreate the Apollo 11. And then we also have a scouting drone. So this will be this will land on top of the rover and can be used to kind of map out the trajectory of where the rover is going to go next. And then we also like to have all of our members be able to pursue their kind of personal passions and projects. So we have some members that are interested in astrophotography and stargazing. So here's some photos that some of our members have took. And then in the last year, we had a project to create a 3D printed telescope, which you can see in the middle. Yeah. And they were able to get course credit for doing that this year.
So we also have other things that we do outside of technical projects, the first of which is professional development. So we bring in speakers and panels throughout the year in order to speak with our membership about working in the space industry. We also host resume workshops so that our members feel like they can go and be recruited for internships and other opportunities to work in space. And we also provide SDK trainings in partnership with AGI so that they can get practice with that software. And then lastly, we both financially support and also send people to conferences throughout the year. So this includes the AIAA conference that we sent a couple people to this year virtually, and then also Space Vision, which is the National SEDS conference. So these two pictures here are from that in 2019. We also like to have fun, and so we host social events throughout the year. This ranges from trivia nights and movie nights to dinners with industry folks. We also do a celebration for Yuri's Night every year, which celebrates the first person in space. And we do this by going to the DIAG typically in a non-COVID semester and tabling and spreading the news about space, I guess, to the rest of the student community. And then lastly, we'll talk about outreach. So we do several different outreach events with children and students. And so the first one is a Lego EVA activity. And this one is very fun. A lot of people like this one. We give them gardening gloves and a helmet, and we tell them to build Lego models. And then essentially the idea is that they're discovering how hard it is to be able to manipulate things when you're wearing a spacesuit. The next one that we have is more related to Mars rovers. So students are getting practice with what it would be like to remotely operate a rover. And then our last thing that we typically do is bringing in K through 12 students or visiting K through 12 schools and showing them what it's like to go to college and try to study something that will eventually lead to a career in the space industry. So looking forward, SEDS at UM hopes to continue to inspire and empower not just our own members, but also the rest of the U of M space community. And we hope to do this by further developing our projects for both new and experienced members, as well as expanding on our professional development, social, and outreach events and opportunities. So through all of this, we hope to push the boundaries of space exploration in diverse and innovative ways. So thank you to everybody who's here today, our organizers, our speakers, our attendees. If any of you would like to reach out to SEDS at UM, you can reach us at our email listed right there, or you can visit our website at seds.engine.umich.edu. So,
all right,
take it away.
So now for some fun event logistics before our first speaker. So we have a Slack workspace, which you can use to ask us questions if you're having trouble with something, or to network with other people that are here today. So you can scan the QR code. I'll leave this up for, I don't know, a couple minutes. And make sure that you're introducing yourself in the hashtag introductions channel, just so we can see where you're calling in from and get to know a little bit more about you. Throughout the event, if you'd like to ask a question to one of our presenters, please wait until the Q&A portion at the end of each presentation. We've left a decent chunk of time, so it'll definitely get answered. You can type your question into the chat box, or you can raise your hand, and then we will unmute your microphone to ask your question directly. And then, most importantly, have fun. We're really excited to have you join us, especially so early. But yeah, I hope you enjoy all the speakers that we've been able to bring in.
Great.
Yeah. So thanks.